story time. Guys, I'm looking at these views. I'm like, okay, they're starting to pick up. So let me go ahead and make another video. So if you haven't seen the previous videos before that, like I've done me being kicked out the bar, I've done the meet and greet, I've done like my worst apartment. So go and check those out too. But here we're back today. We're gonna do a story time, and there's so many different things that I could talk about. But I want to talk about today being kicked out of high school. And let me go back. So I grew up in this kind of like it's a small village feel. The next city village is like literally across the street. The high school that is there is not the best high school. It's kind of got the reputation of being bad, but it's a really big high school. At this point, I had like already moved to the city. So I was staying in Chicago, the low end, the east side, okay? And I was still going to the school in the suburbs where like all my friends and stuff, like I grew up at to 8th grade. So that was already one strike against me, right? So according to the school that they had been like sending mail to that address and the mail would come back. So they knew something was up with the addresses. And then to this day, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. So we were at this, I think it was like a talent show or something like that. So I have an older sister, and then I also have, she has a best friend, but it's like we're all still in that circle and really close. So anyway, so we was at the talent show, and they got into, and I say they loosely. But anyway, so they ended up getting into it with some of the people that I grew up with. So this was like the younger crew, right? Because they are my sister and them, they are like older. So anyway, so they ended up getting into it with some of the people I grew up with. At this point, these were like people that I still consider like my friends or associates. And I just remember feeling like, ooh, what do I do? But now as a grown woman, I'm like, family first, like, duh, like, I'm gonna rock with my family. However, you know, when you're a teenager, you're like, your friends is like more important, you know, you're trying to fit in. And so I was confused. But anyway, all of that really didn't even matter because at the end of the talent show, it was like a big fight. Everyone was fighting. You really couldn't see who was fighting, who or what, but everyone was like fighting in the crowd to the point that the police came. When the police came, they started like spraying mace. And I seen the police spray my sister, and that was it for me, period, blank. And since it was like so much of a crowd or whatever, so much going on, me and my sister had got like separated. And it was a little bit of mace that got on my lips too, so I remember my lips being numb. But yeah, so anyway, so the whole time I'm like panicking, like with my sister, I already know that she is feeling worse off than I am because they like maced her, I think, in her face. So it's like probably her eyes and stuff. So anyway, so I'm looking for her, and it was just a mess. So at the end of that night, I was just like I don't know how it's gonna go, whatever. So went back to school. I mean, I guess everything was cool. I really don't remember much like after that. I guess everything was cool up until the point where they were like looking into the fight, and I guess my name came up, and I'm like, I wasn't even fighting though. Like I wasn't even fighting. I was probably about to, because after I seen my sister like throwing some blows or getting in, you know, getting maced, like that was enough for me to get heated. So anyway, so I'm like, yeah, I wasn't really like involved in this mess. My name just came up, you know. And then on top of them already like sending mail, and it was coming back to the school. I mean, yeah, to the school. So they already had like their little suspicion. So anyway, I was in school one day, I'm in class, and they had like called me to come to the office, and it was the dean. Now this dean was very cockeyed, just like a mess to look at. He was just a mess. Man, I'm a freshman, so about 14 maybe, and I didn't have a car, nothing. And I told you I was staying in the city, so we would take the bus from the east side Chicago to the burbs, like all the way in the burbs. So anyway, so I get to the office and he was like, um, basically, you kicked out. I was just like, what? Like, what did I do? And he had mentioned about the fight and then the address and stuff. And then I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't have a car or nothing. And on top of that, like, I had a whole sister. So you kicking me out, you have to kick her out too. So go ahead, calm my sister down. So yeah, they end up calling my sister down. She got kicked out too. So we was kicked out together. We was like, we got to figure it out. Like, how we gonna get home? We got to get back on this bus to get back home. We gonna have to tell, you know, mom and dad, because they were just like, they want to like make a phone call and let your mom and dad know. They ain't care. He was just like, you can leave, get out. I'm like, really? Like, it's not that simple, especially when you a 14-year-old, you're a freshman, you don't have a car. Like, they were just willing to just dump me to the street. Anything could have happened, right? They didn't even care. So I guess that kind of go back to what I'm saying. This was a bad school. Because this is how they were doing people, okay? And this is this thing, like, well, if I knew what I know now, I would have been like, you need to call my parents and let them know. You need to make sure that I can leave safely. You need to make sure I can get a ride. You don't just tell me just get up and leave and get out. Like, no, period. But anyway, so that's how that played out. So my sister came down. We were kicked out. We had to figure out how to get home. From that point, we had to go to a different school in the suburbs, and we had to use my dad's address, end up hating that school. But I went to 4 different high schools, guys. And the part was because I got kicked out of that school, went to the school for my dad, around my dad's house. And then we had moved twice later on. So like each year, it was like a different school, kind of, sort of speak. Yeah. So this is my life, just a mess, okay? Another story that's a mess, that's crazy, that was just like unnecessary, if you ask me. I'm just like, but this is my story. I'm sticking to it. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back with another story time that's just going to be crazy. That's going to make you laugh. Or I'll put some feel goods in there, like the Memorial Day too. Bye, guys.